The thing had stopped recording. That's why. So. He say, I'm sorry, these were verse 20. He said, who truly was foreordained before the foundation of the world was manifest in these last times for you, who by him do believe in Elohim that raised him up from the dead and gave him esteem that your faith and hope might be in Elohim. So when we turn around and look at it, it said this man was manifested that your faith and hope might be in Elohim through him. A lot of times our faith and hope don't actually be in Elohim or be in Mashiach. Our faith and hope be in men. So then because our faith and hope be in men, and these men do certain things, then we end up losing, so-called losing our faith in the Most High, because we really set it in men. Now, I don't think a lot of men set out to set it up that way to cause that to happen. But nevertheless, it happens nonetheless, because the people tend to more look at the man versus looking at the man who the man is supposed to be preaching. See, look at 2 Corinthians chapter 4. About 4 and 4. If I can actually get the pages and stuff. About 4 and 5. And it says, for we preach not ourselves, but Yahushua HaMashiach, the Master, and ourselves your servants for Yahushua's sake. For Elohim, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, have shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the esteem of Elohim in the face of Yahushua HaMashiach. That's who that you out here preaching. He say the doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. If any man do his will, he'll know the doctrine is mine, or his that sent me. So when we turn around and look at it, that's how it goes down. So let's come back to Hebrews chapter 5. We good in Leviticus chapter 4. And we'll reread that. And it says, for every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in the things pertaining to Elohim, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sin. Listen to what he said. Every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in the things pertaining to Elohim. So we need to run that down. And we need to sit back and look at Zechariah chapter 6. He said every high priest is ordained of men to offer gifts and sins for Elohim. We done already sat back and look at the offering of sins. Let's look at the gifts. Zechariah chapter 6 and 9. And then when we finish with Zechariah 6 and 9, we don't need Psalm 6. We just read it in the epistle letter. Zechariah 6 and 9. And the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, take of them of the captivity of Heldai, of Tobiah and Jedediah, which are come from Babylon, and come thou the same day, and go into the house of Josiah the son of Zephaniah. Then take silver and gold, and make crowns, and set them upon the head of Yahushua the son of Jehozadak the high priest. And speak unto him, saying, thus speaketh Yahuwah of hosts, saying, behold, the man whose name is the branch, he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of Yahuwah. Even he shall build the temple of Yahuwah. He shall bear the esteem, and shall sit upon his throne. And he shall be a priest upon his throne, and the council of peace shall be between them both. Now we know from Psalms 110, he said he ordained him forever to be a priest after the order of Melchizedek. We already read just now in 1 Peter that he was foreordained from the foundation of the world. Chosen from the foundation of the world for this said cause. For the said cause. So he was foreordained to be high priest. Now, when we look at that Hebrews 5 again, he say men are ordained or appointed to be high priests from amongst men. Hold on. I don't want to quote the man right. I don't want to read it wrong. He say, for every high priest taken from among men in the thing pertaining to Elohim, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins. So now we got to sit back and look at what gifts did he offer? What gifts do you think Mashiach offered? So he offered gifts and sacrifices for sin. What type of gifts did he offer? What type of gifts had to be offered? No, I'm talking about like regularly, like when you went and you made offerings. Let's look at something in Exodus 28. Look at Exodus 28 and 38. Just look at a statement that's made in the law, and then we'll look at something. Because you had set apart gifts that you came and brought. It could have been the oil. It could have been the wine. Do you know what I'm saying? It could have been unleavened bread. It could have been your crops. It could have been your cattle. It could have been whatever. But you had certain set apart gifts that you brought that were not necessarily sacrifices. You understand what I'm saying? So it says in verse 38, right? It said, it shall be upon Aaron's forehead that he may bear the iniquity of the Kadesh things with the children of Yasharal shall hallow in all their Kadesh gifts. And it shall always be upon his forehead that he might be accepted before Yahuwah. Now let's turn around and just back it up so you can see what this is upon his forehead. Let's look about verse 34. It says, a golden bell and a pomegranate upon the hem of the robe round about. And it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and his sound shall be heard when he go into the Kadesh place before Yahuwah, and when he come out, that he die not. Now I'm sitting back looking at it because, you know, a lot of brothers like to put on them robes all the time. And they like to make depictions of our people wearing robes. But when you sit back and you look at like this particular robe that Aaron got on, this was not regular walking around attire. You know what I'm saying? Like this was attire meant strictly for the temple. See, when you look at a lot of brothers who put on robes and certain garments now, they wearing them things, but if we look at it lawfully, they wouldn't actually be out in the street or moving out and about with these garments on. They would have actually been in the sanctuary, been in the temple with these garments on, and when they stepped out of the temple, they would have took those garments off because this was set apart apparel. You just didn't wear this everywhere, any and everywhere. You put this on when you ministered, and when you were completed with your work, you took it off. This is a simple example of, like say, like a master say, they like to wear a long garment. You want to be seen. See, sometimes just a lot of people just want to be seen. So verse 35, right, it said, it shall be upon Aaron the minister, and the sound shall be heard when he go into the Kadesh place before Yahuwah, and when he come out, that he die not. And thou shalt make a plate of pure gold, and engrave it upon like the engravings of a signet, Kadesh to Yahuwah. And thou shalt put it on a blue lace, that it may be upon the mitre, upon the forefront of the mitre it shall be, and it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, that he may bear the iniquity of the Kadesh things, which the children of Yasharal shall hallow, and all their Kadesh gifts. Now sit back and think about this, right? He said he'll make a plate of pure gold, engrave it upon it like the engravings of a signet, and it'll say Kadesh to Yahuwah, and shall put on it a blue lace, that it may be upon the front of the mitre. Now something just come to my mind. Just hold on. I ain't intend to go there for this, but let me see what's real fast. I'm trying this crazy. Hold on, let me find it. Went too high. Good grief. My bad, y'all. It's just something, one of the words. I want to look up one of these words. So that's what we're looking for. There we go. So when I look at this word for mitre, it's the turban of the high priest. Now, we know that did they put, because now we say now the turban or the mitre has an engraving that says this is set apart to Yahuwah. This is what the high priest got to have on his head, and that all the hallowing of all the gifts that are offered to Yahuwah. I say a lot of the gifts what the people brought. You know, you brought the The firstlings of your crop, the firstlings of your cattle. You had to bring oil, you had to bring wine, you had to bring unleavened bread. I'll give y'all an example. You don't have to go get it. I'm going to just pull this out before I continue looking at this Exodus 28. This is something that the Most High allowed me to see very, very, very long time ago. As the saying goes, many, many moons ago. I seen some brothers, well, I was listening to it one day because I ain't really had nothing going on at the time. They were debating a Christian about, is the law done away? I think I told y'all about this not too long ago. And the dude was like, how do y'all keep the feast? And he referenced, do you keep the feast according to Numbers 28? When you look at Numbers 28, he said he commanded them that when they made an offering and bread for his sacrifices for a sweet savor, that you would observe to do these in their due season. And he said you would make him an offering by fire and things of this nature. And then he said you would come and you would make a continual burnt offering, which was ordained to be a sweet savor by fire. And you'd bring one lamb in the morning and one lamb in the evening. And you'd have an ephah of flour for a meat offering. And it would be mingled with a fourth part of hin of beaten oil. Then he said you would bring a drink offering of hin for one lamb in a set apart place. And cause the strong wine to be poured unto Yahuwah for a drink offering. And another lamb thou shalt thou offer at even, and a meat offering in the morning, and a drink offering thereof, and all these things. And the brothers went and read Hebrews 9 and 10, when they didn't really sit back and go into that all these things are pointing to Mashiach. And with all these things are pointing to Mashiach, and you see these set apart gifts that are hallowed. Because the people got to come and bring these things. Because they say the people got to come do it. He say, command the children of Yasharah to bring these things. These things are hallowed. So when you turn around and you look at it and he say,